click record. All right. So we're going to talk about skincare because we all, even if your skin is clear, there's something going on with all of our skin. So what are some things you love about your skin? You can write it down or just think about it in your head. And then what are some things that you would like to improve? And I know skincare is a sensitive subject, so you don't have to choose to share it with this person, but think of someone that's really into skincare or is looking for help with skincare. Just write that person down on your paper. All right. I'm going to make it so that you guys can see my screen. All right. So common skin issues, we're going to start with redness. So it's typically rooted in inflammation. And a lot of times with skin, there's a root that you need to really get at and figure out why that's happening. And so if you have redness in your skin, it's probably because some kind of inflammation is either happening in your gut or your joints. And we'll get to that later. But you can use Yarrow Pom, which is yarrow, which is a flower, and then pomegranate oil, and it's really dark blue, and it's amazing. I use this every night on my face, and I don't know if you ever if you ever seen a picture of Coco on Facebook, she has done like the blue face, but it is like heaven on your face. And I just got really sunburnt, and I used all of these products on my skin to take the sunburn out. I went to the lake I went to the river and the pool in one day, and I just like sunscreen couldn't keep up with what I was doing that day. And so I went from like radiating heat, not being able to move, to the next day being fine. So Correct-X is another great one for skin that I put on my husband's face. He has like blood vessels on his face that I put that on, which is also super amazing on cuts. It has so many uses. So it's one of those things that it's like a Neosporin, but it's all natural. Helichrysum is really great for your skin. I call it liquid gold. It's one that I'll put in my bath on a really hard day or a really good day. And so it's really good for your mood, and it's amazing for your skin. So it's not necessarily a face story, but somebody I know had burnt themselves really, really bad, and it just kept oozing, and there's nothing that she could do to get it to stop oozing. So she finally reached out to me, and I was like, you need to buy Helichrysum. Like, it's going to be what you need. And 3 days later, she was like, it worked perfectly.
You put it straight on?
Huh?
You just put it straight on?
No, I dilute it. I'll do like 2 drops of it in my hand with with Yarrow Pom actually. And then I'll put that on my face if I'm using it on my face. It's pretty expensive, so I use it sparingly, but it's one that I always have on hand. It's also really great for ear infections. So it's one that
So how would you apply that?
Just behind your ear. So I'll take Helichrysum and tea tree oil behind my kids' ears when they have an ear infection or they're like tugging at their ear. And we have antibiotics sitting in the fridge from Christmas time because it brought my son, but because it was right before the weekend. But I wanted to try oils first, and they're still sitting in the fridge. And I had my youngest did the same thing, and I used Helichrysum and tea tree oil, and he was ready to go. Frankincense is really great for wrinkles and anything skin related. I like the roller just because I like how hard it is on my face. You know how those jade rollers are in? It's kind of like putting a jade roller on your face. So it's great for wrinkles, and they call it a wrinkle eraser. So that's a great one for your skin. I use it every single day on my face. That and Rose. Scars. So these are oils that are really great for minimizing scars. And I have a crazy story. I have a picture on my phone that I'm going to show you because that is how cool it is. I know I'm taking time to do this. Okay. So one of my friends' little boys, I'm going to stop sharing so that I can see what I'm doing. One of my friend's little boys had a glass frame fall on his face.
Oh.
And this is what it looks like after of using Correctex and frankincense on that spot 3 months later.
Wow.
I was amazed. And so she continues to use Correctex on scarring, and Vetiver is another one that's really good for scarring as well. So if you know anybody that's had surgery, a lot of my friends, hang on, like, where do I go? Oop, are you guys gone?
Nope.
Can you see my screen? Nope.
I can see you.
All right, I gotta do share screen. There we go. I got so excited about my story. Okay, so geranium is really good for scars. Frankincense is really good for scars. Yarrow palm again. Yarrow palm is like this really yummy texture. It's super thick, and so if it just kind of sits on the scar, which is nice. It's not super thin. I feel like sometimes with frankincense, I have to roll it on over and over, but it's still doing what it needs to. But sometimes I just feel dry. I have really dry skin, and so yarrow palm is my best friend. I use it all over my body. And then neroli is also really good for scarring. And then if you know somebody that has like a thick, like that thick scar that I just showed you, where there's a lot of like raised pieces, vetiver is really good for that as well. And then breakout. I do not have pimply skin unless I'm PMSing, and so I'll use tea tree oil, but I don't use HD Clear line. But I told you guys a couple weeks ago that I have a bunch of students that use HD Clear, and they have had amazing results with it. Like I can see when I was teaching there, just within a month of using it, you could see a difference. So if you know somebody that is a new teenager I know that there's a lot of like perimenopausal acne happens too, so that's always an option. And then rose is really great for your skin. I like to put it on my lips as like a lip gloss because it helps plump them. And then also just like I feel like the older I get, the more my lips just get like cracky and not nice. And so rose is fantastic for skin in general. So I do yarrow palm, and then I roll frankincense, and then I roll rose on my face day and night. But I
use the rose.
Huh?
I've got adult acne, and I use the rose on at night, and they're almost all cleared in the morning.
Yeah, awesome.
It's
Yeah,
wonderful.
Great.
Yeah.
And it smells so nice. It's a great perfume replacement. And sometimes I'll, if I ever need to like freshen up in the car, I'll put it in my armpits too. So this is the time of year where you need rose in your purse at all times.
Hey, Emmy.
Yes.
How would you use tea tree? Do you dilute it?
I use it directly.
Okay.
It's not a super, I don't typically, like harsh oils are like going to be the cinnamons, and so it's not a hot oil. And when it comes to zits, like I need it pretty concentrated because I don't know sometimes I get those zits that are like really deep under the skin and super hurty, and I'll put tea tree just directly on it. And it never raises to the top where it gets like white and gross. It like dissipates within a day.
Thank you.
So it's amazing for zits. I'm always like, oh, it's super easy too. Brown spots, so that come from sun exposure, frankincense again, black spruce is a good one, sandalwood, and lavender. So this is one that my grandma puts sandalwood on and frankincense on her hands because she's starting to get little spots. I mean, she's like 85. So, but she's finally like taking care of those brown spots, and she says she notices a difference. So.
Do you have to dilute that, Emmy, those oils for your hands or your face?
I would do, I mean, it depends. I mean, if I'm doing a spot treatment, I don't dilute. But if I'm going to rub it everywhere, like if I'm going to put frankincense everywhere, I use a frankincense touch, which is already diluted. And I like that. And so I would maybe even, like if I had brown spots on my hands, I would make a roller with 10 drops black spruce, 10 drops sandalwood, 10 drops lavender, and 10 drops frankincense, and then dilute it. And then I would just roll it on.
Okay, thank you.
And sometimes, like if you don't have all of those oils, use the ones you have, and then put it on your wish list, and then you can add it to the roller later too.
Okay.
What do you dilute everything with?
Coconut oil. So doTERRA has a really great fractionated coconut oil. You can also get it on Amazon, like a bigger bottle for cheap. It's just the liquidy coconut oil. I really like the doTERRA stuff. It just seems to be smoother than the stuff. It seems better quality than the stuff you get on Amazon. So it's always a treat when I get to like use my doTERRA stuff instead of just like the big bottle that I have, because it's easier. But I really like the doTERRA coconut oil. And then aging, so for wrinkles, loose skin, and just to help your skin in general, I'm finding that my skin is getting thinner as I age, and so I use the Immortelle roller. Coco is obsessed with the Immortelle roller. I also have an eye disease, and so I use the Immortelle roller around my occipital bone so if you have anybody in your family that struggles with like cataracts or retinal detachment or anything with their eyes, that Immortelle roller is amazing. You might even be able, sometimes I do this and sometimes I don't, but I'll split it into two, and then just because you don't need it as strong around your eye. But that is amazing stuff. And frankincense still, I always just do it on my face, and then I put 2 drops of it under my tongue. It's just so versatile because it's great for cell regeneration, great for wrinkles, and great for brain health. Everything everybody wants right away in the morning. And then at nighttime, it calms your anxiety, helps you sleep. Once again, everything you need at night. So frankincense is one that I go through a lot of. All right. So like I was saying at the beginning, a lot of skin health comes from our guts and our gut health. And so as you can see on this side, there's all these nutrients that your skin needs. And if you're not getting it from your diet, then it's going to show in your skin. And so then you can take Lifelong Vitality Pack to fill in all of those gaps in your diet. And I have noticed my skin is firmer, but like my nails are thicker. So including like my energy is better, and there's all these other residual effects. I notice a huge difference. I've like always bit my nails, and now I can't bite my nails because they're so thick. And I'm like, ugh, kind of bothers me sometimes. I'm like, have to use a clipper now. So, but like I noticed it in my skin on, I just have really dry skin too. And so it seems to be like I have less cracking in my heels. And also like I used to bite my cuticles really bad till they bled, and there's less cracking there. So I have to kind of create that crack now, which annoys me a little bit. But it means like I have a noticeable difference in my skin in general, that it's seems to be thicker and more healthy in general. All right. So they also have a Yaropalm supplement that you can take, and it's great for collagen. I know that collagen is like a really, really big thing now, and so it helps with your collagen production. I know that you can get those like powders that you whip in to your water and stuff. I don't love those. I just would prefer to take these supplements instead. And then it has melon in it, which helps you have glowing skin. Terrazyme, which is the digestive enzyme, which helps you go potty, which also really helps with red skin and eczema. So I had a friend who, when she gets pregnant, she has really, really bad eczema, and 90% of the time, eczema is a gut health issue. So I sent her samples of Terrazyme, and her eczema went away. And she was taking cortisone shots. My mom, the same thing. She has bad eczema, and she was taking steroid shots, putting her hands in bleach. And I was like, this is weird and ridiculous. So I had her start taking Terrazyme, and it is so much better. Like, she doesn't get the cracking and crazy winter skin that she usually gets. We also have PB Assist, which is our probiotic. And I know we've talked about our probiotics a number of times, but what's awesome about doTERRA's is that they're double encapsulated. Oftentimes a probiotic burns off in your stomach because of the acid and never really makes it to your intestines to get rid of the inflammation and get your bacteria to where it needs to be. So doTERRA's are double encapsulated so that it gets to your gut without being burned off in your stomach. And then also, I'm horrible at this, but I'm still going to tell you guys about it, is every day drink half of your body weight in ounces of water per day. So the only way I drink water is through having oils in it. So I like this water pitcher. At the beginning of the day, have started this new thing where I fill a water pitcher, and then it's pretty and it's already got all my oils in it, so I don't have to deal with it each time. And then I have another pretty glass next to it, and I just keep filling it throughout the day. I need a lot of incentives to drink water, so that's what I found is working better for me. And then skincare line. So I've used Virage, which I love, and it has an Immortelle serum that is amazing. I love getting the kits all together because then I don't have to worry about what I'm supposed to be doing. They just tell you what to do. So that is one that I've used a bunch. And then I've never used the HD Clear, but have had people with lots of success with it, and I've seen their success. And then I absolutely love, there is a facial cleanser. It's the Melaleuca and peppermint one, and it is like the best summertime wash because I use it on my face, and then I'll use it on my armpits, and then I use it down there, and it like freshens everything up. So that is going to be my handy tip for the summer. So I feel like the complete essential skincare is more for combination skin. And then Virage, I would say, is for people with drier skin. And then the HD Clear is for people that have acne or acne prone skin. So And this, if you want to ask more questions about the skincare lines, now would be a good time, I guess. I can answer your questions. Are there any questions about the supplements or anything I talked about before? All right. So now we're going to end with our wellness box. So you can do the vitamins, which I'm always going to suggest because the reason I am obsessed with them, yes, my skin is great and there's all these residual effects, but my friend was just asking me for a success story. And the main thing I love that is the most vain piece of it is that it helps with weight loss. And the reason that I take them every single month is because it helps my metabolism so much that I don't want to get fat again. So that is, for me, the main reason I take them is just because I know it's filling in gaps with my diet that I'm just not doing. And then Terrazyme is something I take every day in the morning and at night, and it just makes me regular, which makes me more comfortable throughout the day. PB Assist is also one that I add in if I'm having, like this weekend, I'm going on a trip, so I start taking my PB Assist before we go, and I just know I'm going to eat more cruddy when I'm there, and so I'll continue to take it throughout the trip, and then I'll taper off or stop once I get home and get back on track. And then the Virage skincare line, I kind of go back and forth between the Complete Essentials and the Virage. I like them both. I have them both in my cabinet, and it's kind of whatever I'm feeling at the time.
So what's the difference between the Terrazyme and the PB Assist?
So one is a digestive enzyme, and so that helps you actually digest your food.
Okay.
And so that helps you get all of the nutrients that you're eating. And it also has added vegetables in there. And then PB Assist is a probiotic where it's adding bacteria to your gut that oftentimes gets wiped out from just our diets in general. And if you've ever taken antibiotics, I just read a thing that it takes 2 to 4 years to get back that bacteria that gets wiped out from antibiotics. And people typically take and have to take antibiotics at least once a year. And so that just helps rebuild all of that bacteria that you're losing. Does that make sense? So they're both helping you absorb your food and digest your food. They're just, one of them helps it break down, and one of it builds up that bacteria so that it can help it break down. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because last time I went, I ordered, they were out of the Terrazyme, but I got the PB Assist because I was having a lot of stomach troubles, and it cleared up within like 4 days.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I do.
It was awesome.
Yeah, yeah. And so Terrazyme just really, really helps you absorb your food that you're eating if you're eating healthy. And then it also has a lot of vegetables in it to give you that food that you need too. And then if you order before the 14th of the month, you get your free oil. So last month it was a citrus twist, and that's what I've been diffusing and cleaning with all month. And it's just a fun little way to bring in summer. So they oftentimes have a fun oil of the month where you can kind of switch things up that aren't available all the time, and you get it for free. So around Christmas time, they usually have a frankincense. If you spend $200, then you get a free frankincense, and so that's super awesome. All right, any questions? All right. So feel free to reach out if there are questions that you don't want to talk about on here. That is totally fine. And then I will send you guys the recording as well. And let me tell you what the oil for your cards is. Let's do Serenity.